Welcome back to The Giant Leap, the podcast where we explore what success really means beyond the filters, the titles, and the highlight reels. Today's guest is someone who's built an incredible career by doing the opposite of what most people would dare to do. She's made imperfection her superpower. She's a writer, comedian, and the creator of Knee Deep in Life, known for her brutal honesty, her humour, her courage to say things most people hide, and her powerful message around shame, authenticity, and being unapologetically yourself.
Laura Belbin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was such a lovely intro.
Oh,
I feel like every single time I walk into a room, I want that to be said.
Yeah.
Actually, who would do that? What an absolute cunt. I've dropped the C word already, 20 seconds in.
That's all right. This is going to have lots of swearing in. So anyone who doesn't like swearing, turn off. But otherwise, don't. We're being unapologetically ourselves today. That's what we're being. So it's perfect.
So tell us, for those who've never met you, who is Laura Belbin?
So I started Knee Deep in Life about 8 years ago on Facebook, and it was I had been doing loads of stuff on my own private Facebook, like silly stuff, stupid stuff, and like some of the mums in the playground were like, you know what, actually you could do that on like they said on a blog level, and I was like, what? They were like, you can make money from things like that. I was like, huh? You mean I can make money? So I started Knee Deep in Life, but it was very impulsive. I didn't think too much about it, and I kind of threw myself into it. And I've always loved comedy, but I didn't really think that I didn't think I was good enough, I think, to be honest with you. And I was really desperate for someone out there that would just validate the fact that it wasn't just me feeling what I was feeling. And I think that obviously built up a response of people that were like, oh my God, thank God you said that, because that's exactly how I feel. And I think as a society, we don't normalize life, how messy and ugly and unglamorous and how un-Hollywood it is. You know, we all think about like falling in love or like buying your first home or getting the dream job or having the best friends, that it's always just this one shoot up to the stars and you just reach it. And it's not. And like nobody's talking about that. And that was like the biggest thing that I felt was missing within my life. It wasn't even on like a level of believing that I didn't have a business plan. I just knew that I was passionate about what I did. And then about 9 months after starting it, I got stuck in a pair of Spanx, and that went uber viral. And it all kind of, carried on from there. So yeah, that's where it all started, really.
I love that with the Spanx as well, because the creator of Spanx, she's the kind of girl that would love what you're doing as well. So I expect she's watched it.
Yeah, I mean, when that happened, I genuinely felt such terror because it went wild, and all of a sudden I'd gone from being this really unknown person to being stopped in the street, and like nobody talks about the fact that when that type of stuff happens, it's really scary. I didn't, I felt so overwhelmed. I contemplated deleting the page because I thought, actually, is this even what I want? Like, this much attention feels overwhelming. It took me quite a while to kind of let my anxiety settle back down of being within that space. And now, obviously, I'm what, 7 years in, and it's my job not to get stuck in Spanx, obviously, but like to but to entertain, and I've settled into it, but it took me a long time to like to be able to deal with like the absolute fear, the fear of everybody seeing everything that you do, and then there's people that will criticize you, and then you have to tackle that side of it, and you have to be able to like decompartmentalize why they're doing it so that it doesn't become something you then carry. Like, it's all such a process. It's not just like a cut and dry, oh my God, I just don't care. Like, it's not, it can't be, it's impossible.
When you posted that video of Spanx, like any of your videos at that point before that went viral, did you have any idea that you could be this massive creation? Like, or were you just doing it to get your message out there to say, you know, things are different in life?
You know what my dream was, but back then I didn't know about the fact that I should have been posting on Instagram as well. So I mean, I'm shit with business, I really am. So like for me, like it always comes down to a core of like I am so passionate about what I do because I love what I do, and that's something I always want to get across because I think it's really, really important. Some people don't. Some people are doing it because it is a paycheck. And yes, of course, we all need to be paid. We all need to do things to survive. But to my bones, I love what I do. So I did it because I was passionate about it. But my dream on Facebook was to get to 10,000 followers. Like that was like, oh my God, if I get to that, that would be big time. I'd be huge.
So,
I'd be so chuffed.
so what were you at followers before you went viral?
3,500.
Oh my God. 3,500 to what overnight? Like,
And then within a week, it was 100,000.
oh my God. I mean, nobody is expecting that. Like that is
No.
not you're sat there at 3,500 going, right, okay, I really hope one day I'll hit
Yeah.
10,000 and then overnight, like 100,000.
Yeah, and then in less than a year it was at 1 million, and that's kind of how it went. But I wasn't making any money, and I
Okay.
think that's a really important thing to note because a lot of people think, oh, you've got this massive following, you must be loaded. It's like, no, but everything I've got, I have worked my absolute arse off for. None of it's been handed to me. And, it's also a process of I think the other thing with regards to success, and I think you guys will probably really resonate with it, is that you have to fail so many times before
Yeah.
you then get the success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody sees the
Yeah.
fails because we don't share it. We don't talk about the fact that we've been rejected or because this thing went badly or because this thing didn't turn out or because whatever it might be, we just don't share it. But that is just a normal part of life. And for every single success I've had 12 failures. And
Yeah.
those 12 failures sometimes has made me go, I think I'm just going to jack it all in. Because you get those days where you go, why am I working this hard?
Oh, definitely. And I think if you don't have those days, then you're not in the right business. Like you should be having those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also think as well, it's like this idea of manifestation, and I personally think manifestation is brilliant. I think it's such a great tool, but I think a lot of people misinterpret what it is, and manifestation is really a case of saying, this is my goal, and I want to get here, and every single time I fall on my ass, I'm going to remember this is my goal, so I'm going
Yeah.
to keep getting back up, and I'm going to keep pushing forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people think when they fail, it's a signal of the fact that they're not good enough or they're not capable or that they shouldn't be doing it. When in actual fact, it's a signal of saying, this is still my goal, but that wasn't the way to get to it. I've got to try a different route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
That's
this is the
funny.
lesson that I've got to learn in order to be able to achieve that goal. You
A
know,
Yeah.
hundred
you've
percent.
got to learn lessons in order to be able to be mentally capable of being at your goal.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time.
Yeah, being an entrepreneur, you get so used to failure that it doesn't even seem like failure anymore. It's kind of like, oh, okay, that didn't work. Now let's do the next
Yeah.
iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's it. I think it's like, let's normalize those. But we
Yeah.
don't because we feel ashamed of it. We feel ashamed and it hurts. Like I speak from my own personal experience. When I get rejection, like let's say I've tried to get a management company and they've gone, no, we're not interested in you. Ah, that hurts so hard because it's like, but I live and breathe what I do. I'm so passionate about what I do. I love what I do. Why can't you see that in me? Why can't you see that I don't give up? Why, whatever. So, we all have those moments we go, God, that hurts so bad and this feels so unfair. And I'm going to be really angry about the fact that that's happened and I'm going to cry about it because I'm so upset because I feel like I deserve it. But then I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing about those moments that test you like that, when you get rejected and stuff, you either shift something or you try harder at something. So the thing that comes out of like the rejection is so much better than
Yeah.
what you would have had in the first place.
I couldn't agree with that more. I actually saw something today, and I'm not going to quote it perfectly because I can't quite remember it, but it said something along the lines of, at your lowest moment, is your defining moment,
Yeah.
because it's the
Yeah.
moment where actually you do. And I can speak personally, you know, for those of you that don't know my journey. So I started out knee deep in life 8 years ago. 6 years ago, I had a severe breakdown in COVID. That was awful. And I thought I side railed my career. I then came back from that, and then I continued to push on. And then last year, May of last year, I was due to go out on a UK tour that was sold out, and it had been really successful. And the night before I was due to go, I cancelled it because I was entering into another breakdown. And in that process, I was also leaving my marriage. And I I can honestly say that the work that I've done on myself in the last 18 months, but I entered into therapy 6 years ago, but the work that I've done on myself in the last 18 months has changed my life. I I want to, and I always want to express the depth in which I have had to go to hell to come out the other side. And I think that last year it was my defining moment. It was my moment where I laid for a while just thinking I'm worthless. There's no point in getting back up. Like I'm done. The life has been completely beaten out of me, and I haven't got anything left in me. I've got no oxygen left in my lungs. I'm done. And I still have a broken heart over that tour. Like, even though I was in such a bad place, that's how much I love comedy. Like, I never ever wanted to cancel that tour, and it's still something that hurts so badly, but it had to happen. And I had to draw strength to do the things I had to do last year to get to where I am now. And I think I like to make sure that I give the last 2 minutes of every show that I perform to the one person in the audience that's struggling, because I know deep to my bones what it feels like to be struggling, but often we struggle in silence, you know. We can't say anything, so we stay quiet and we keep smiling and we keep pushing on and we keep trying to make things work and we keep trying to keep things afloat, but inside we are literally broken.
Mm.
And I've done that, I've lived that, and I still live it to a certain degree. But for the first time, I'm now 41, and for the first time in my life, because of all the work I've done, I've read so much around psychology, around your nervous system, around your window of tolerance, the polyvagal theory, which is all to do with your nervous system and your different states of fight, flight, flop. Like I've learned, I've invested everything about myself in comedy and mental health. And I have the privilege of having access to private therapy as well, which is something that my therapist has saved my life. And she also helped me last year to get what I needed to do to be able to leave my marriage. And I feel profoundly lucky and grateful to have that. But I have worked so hard to get there. And I know what it feels like to be that person that looks on social media and thinks I'm the only one failing. I'm the only one not succeeding, and comparing myself to somebody else and believing that they're doing it just so much better than I am. Like I've felt all of those things, and I think that my reason for being who I am online is because I know what it feels like to be alone, because I am alone. You know,
Mm.
I don't have any family. I have my two beautiful children who I share 50-50 in an amicable split with my ex-husband. And I have a wonderful home. And I am, for the first time in my life, while healing and while it's messy and I cry and I have panic attacks and everything else involved, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I know with my hand on my heart, I'm never going to have a breakdown again because of the work that I've put into
Can
myself.
I take you to that place where you thought you like the first time
Hmm.
you had a breakdown? When the second time, when it was coming, what triggered to make you know that it was coming? What was it that was there to like go, oh my God, this is going to happen again. I don't want to be there again.
There were quite a few compounding things that happened. But for me, it was panic. And I think that one thing that I've learned about the brain, now something needed to fucking change in my life. So ultimately, cancelling that tour was what I needed to do in that moment. But when your brain, like our brains are built with, sometimes it's just going to throw random shit up. It's not going to make any sense. And then it's for us to logically be able to sort it into the different compartments that it belongs to, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has intrusive thoughts. You're driving along the road and you think, I'm just going to drive into that other car. And you're like, why
Oh
the
yeah.
fuck would I think?
Yeah.
We all have
Yeah.
that. That's normal, right? We all have
I've
that.
conversations all the time that I've not about a person that I'm not even going to go and meet, but I'm having a
Yeah.
conversation with them in my head about
Yeah,
what I had for dinner last Wednesday. You know why?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
So our brains are throwing things up all the time. And sometimes our brain is going to throw something up that is actually going to almost make sense on a terrifying level.
Yeah.
So I had convinced myself that the right thing for me to do was to cancel my tour, which ultimately it was. I could not have got through last year if I hadn't cancelled the tour. But when I cancelled that tour, I then made the decision that I should stop doing the school run. I then made the decision that I should stop seeing my friends because my brain was going, and then another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing.
Yeah.
Because what I was entering into was basically the freeze response of my nervous system. And the freeze response is when your body has been in fight or flight for so long that it goes, we can't survive. We now need to lay down and act dead so that we don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a nervous system response. Now, I didn't know that at the time because I didn't understand that that's what my body was doing. And slowly but surely, I reduced everything until all of a sudden I wasn't even leaving the house anymore. And I had to, for a period of time, I was almost sitting and waiting, A, for someone to come in and save me, but also B, for the perfect moment for things to just realign themselves and then I could just walk straight back out into life. And my therapist was saying to me, like, Laura, it's not going to work that way. You've got to start pushing your way back through and out. And at that point, I thought, but I'm so I'm fighting everything all the time. I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
exhausting.
slowly but surely, it was a real painful, horrible one foot in front of the other. And when I'd gone into therapy 6 years ago, I had done something called EMDR, which is like tapping, and it's to do with reconditioning, like reprogramming your brain around traumatic events, because I had a very traumatic childhood, which makes sense. All comedians are fucked up, so
Which
yeah,
parent, they
like
say, which Jimmy Carr says, which parent was it?
it, yeah, it was my mum. It's always which parent was this? Yeah, it is so true. So I I did that therapy and I thought it was like amazing. I'm now 6 years on and I've now done fucking incredible therapy. And I realized that what she'd done was really unethical. But when she ended therapy with me after 20 months of being with her, she said, you're not going to have another breakdown because of what we've done in therapy. So I kind of had like a bit of a cocksure belief over the fact that it wasn't going to happen
Yeah.
because of that. That's the power of therapy, by the way. Like it can literally, it is that incredible when you do, it's not CBT, it's deep diving trauma therapy to kind of go back to the roots of things. So when I had that breakdown last year, I was a little bit almost like dumbfounded, like where the fuck has that come from? I wasn't expecting that. I shouldn't be going through this. And then the therapist that I was with, I'd not long been with her. I'd only been with her for about 2 or 3 months, and we were very early into the stages of kind of like what they call transference, of like creating a relationship with each other. And it took a long time for us to build that relationship. Now I've done the therapy that I should have done 6 years ago. This therapy has been ethical. It it has so much depth to it that it's almost beyond words. The feeling that I have in my body is so profoundly different that when I have a panic attack, I'm not saying, oh my God, I'm going to have to cancel everything. Oh my God, I've got to walk away from everything. When I have those real low moments, I'm not going, oh my God, that's it, it's over. I've fucked my career. I'm not going to see my friends. I sit through it. And invariably, when you sit through that, when you sit past the panic, when you sit past whatever that it is that's initially sort of like jolting you up and kind of bringing you to attention, you find that, because I do a lot of inner child work, that panic, that anxiety, whatever that thing is that feels really profound, that's literally fucking consuming you, is a small child that didn't have a need met when they were little,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
that ride through it, and it's
That's
shit.
incredible.
It's
That's
fucking
incredible.
shit.
So do you think it's to do with the person that's given you the therapy, or do you think it's the age that you were when you received it and how willing you were to receive it?
I personally think the relationship between a therapist and a client is so profoundly important. If you do not have that relationship, the therapy will not work. And I think that when I went into therapy 6 years ago, it's a little bit like when you go dating, you've got to meet a lot of dickheads before you meet a good guy, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the case for therapy. I think a lot of people think, okay, I've got a therapist, that's it. It's not. And like I've learned that the hard way. So when I was with her 6 years ago, I was almost like, well, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to work. Oh no, she's amazing. I absolutely love her. Blah, 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 blah. Because I didn't want to contemplate the idea that I would even have to go and see somebody else, but also I didn't have a comparison. I didn't
First
know
love.
the
First love, same
difference.
thing. It's like, whatever, I'm just going to go with this one because you don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
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 So I was I was just so desperate to feel better that I didn't care. When in actual fact, what she did was more damaging than it was
Wow.
good. And I
Mm.
think that's another thing to acknowledge is that within the healing world, there's a lot of narcissists
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like
They're all messed up.
the godlike complex of like healing somebody is profound. They're like, oh my God, look how incredible I am. They don't give a shit about you. They give a shit about massage and their own ego.
Yeah.
So
And pushing their own trauma
Yeah,
onto you.
pushing their own traumas. Loads of people in that world are so traumatized themselves. How can
yeah.
they help somebody else?
I
They
was
Yeah.
can't yet.
I was
They've still
wondering,
got too
do
much.
you see the perfect irony in like the journey and the depression that you've been through is like the perfect muse for what you do and
Yeah.
for how you can help people?
100%. 100%. I do. I think that it's it's like from my darkness I can bring light, I
Yeah.
think. And like, I the analogy that I had is that my life up until this point has felt like a storm,
Mm.
and now there's a rainbow. And like I
Yeah.
never thought that it was worth holding out to see the rainbow because my therapist actually described it perfectly. And I don't believe this to just be therapy. I believe this to be any sort of profound things that happen in life. And she said that imagine there's like a tunnel. This is the entering point, and then there's a bend and another bend. And she said at this point, this is when you enter into therapy, and all of the life skills, everything that you've ever known is here, and this is how you've lived. And then you kind of go into this little bit of the tunnel. You can still see backwards, your life is still there, but you know that you can't go back because things have changed and you can't unsee and you can't unlearn the things that you've kind of begun to see. And then you kind of go a little bit further and you go into this bend, and all of a sudden you can't see back anymore because it makes no sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you're looking forward and you can't see any light. It's completely dark. And you
Yeah.
have no idea how long this tunnel is going to be. And nobody can tell you that either. Nobody can
Wow.
tell you how long that suffering, that journey, that grief, that sorrow, the angst, no one can tell you how long that's going to
Well, while
be.
you're in it, you think it's forever.
You do. You think it is forever. And then all of a sudden you dip out the other side of it and you see the light. You're like, oh, thank fuck for that. Wasn't that bad, was it? Do you know what I mean? But that's life. But we
Yeah.
all have that, whether it be in therapy, whether it be in a relationship breakdown, whether it be in family estrangement, like leaving a job and going into a new job and not knowing how to fucking work anything, starting your own business. Like it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's all terrifying, isn't it? So what gives you the strength to actually do those things?
God, that's such a good question. I'm just ballsy as fuck, I think. I'm impulsive and I love adventure, and I have a fuck it attitude of life is short and it is so precious. I lost my dad very suddenly just over 2 years ago, and he was poorly anyway, but he certainly there was no inclination of the fact that he was going to die, and that was a big wake up call. I think I've always felt that way anyway, but it was an even bigger wake up call to be like, life is precious and we just don't know how long we've got. We don't. We can assume that we're going to grow old. We don't know that, you know? And it's a privilege. Growing old is a privilege, and I feel like I'm great. I think I practice a lot of gratitude. I've got a lot of gratitude for the amount of work I've done, and a gratitude for the fact that I'm not there yet. And also being able to say, I'm not there yet. And that's all right. I'm just not there yet. And that's all right. I'm not where my career isn't where I want it to be, but I'm working towards it. I'm not going to give up. And I also think the deepest embodiment always, for me, always comes from compassion. It's like giving yourself the most amount of compassion, which sounds easy, but actually it's not. It's a daily practice that you have to keep putting in over and over and over again until it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And then having that compassion for yourself to say, my life is not perfect. I am not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to repair. And
Yeah.
actually, I forgive myself for not being the perfect version of myself because nobody is.
It's so difficult to do that. So, and especially as I don't know if it's the same for guys because I'm not one, but as a woman, like it's so difficult. That little nasty voice, we are so evil to ourselves. Oh my God, look at that little bit of fat that's on you. Look at that,
Yeah.
your nose isn't the same as it should be, or
Yeah.
we're so nasty to ourselves. And to actually sit there and go, hey, I'm cool, I'm good. I like
Yeah.
me. Like, I
Yeah.
like me. Like, I don't care what anyone else thinks out there. I like me. It's such a hard thing to do. Is it the same for guys?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's a bit
I
more
know.
simple.
Fucking
It's
hell, it's
kind
so
of
unfair. Why
yeah.
why is it?
It's kind
We
of
got
like
periods, perimenopause,
my
fucking birthing kids, they just get a
Yeah.
my
dick and they don't have to worry
my
They
about
don't
it.
do anything.
my biggest thing is like, oh, she doesn't think I'm doing good. Fuck, shit, I'm not doing well. And then I come down on myself, and then my
Yeah.
world's over.
Oh,
So it kind of,
if I think you're
yeah,
not, oh right, oh that's nice to
yeah,
know. So if I think that you're not doing very well,
yeah,
then
yeah,
you go down on yourself.
yeah.
Okay, well
Go down on
that's
myself.
There you go. Note to self. But I think that um the other thing that I learned is your inner critic, which is obviously what you were referring to.
yeah,
I used to believe my inner critic, which is one of the hardest things to tackle. Obviously, going into therapy, it's called like what I do is befriending. So you befriend all of the different parts of you, befriending your inner critic. And I only learned in this last year, while while your inner critic is profoundly misplaced, believe it or not, that part of you is desperately trying to keep you safe by keeping you small.
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
okay,
And
yeah,
I
that's
didn't know
interesting.
that. And when my therapist kind of like helped me to understand that and taught me that befriending framework of imagine that inner critic is like you're sitting her right next to you, or the he right next to you, and you're listening to them talk about themselves like that. It's your best friend, let's say, it's your child, and they're speaking to themselves that way. How would you speak to them back? Would you shut? Because what I used to do is shut them down, push them down, ignore them, distract, anything, don't listen. When in
Yeah,
actual fact, when I did that, it made that louder because it's like,
yeah,
stop ignoring me. I don't want to be ignored. I need to be listened to and it needs to be nurtured. And your inner critic is trying desperately because it believes if it speaks to you badly and it will be for me, I know that when I listen to my inner critic, when I properly listen beyond the surface level of it and I go to the deeper part, it's my mum.
Mm,
yeah,
And we'll all, it might be that it's not a voice that comes up. It could be imagery, it could be anything, but the association is with somebody that has fed something into you that allowed you to believe that your self-worth was that low. And it had such a profound impact on you at the time that your brain latched onto it and then created almost like this part of you that was like, if you want to receive love, you need to fit within these confines. And that's how the inner critic is kind of created.
mm,
And
wow,
so now, and I still find it fucking hard because sometimes my inner critic is like, rah! And I'm like, I know you're doing this because you're scared of me making changes within my life. But I still don't like hearing you talk like that inner voice when it sounds so cruel and it's so berating and it's so nasty. And it's like I'm still, all of this time on, still having to like sit with myself and say, this part of me does not want to hurt me. It just doesn't understand how to speak to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But understanding that duality gives you your comedy, but it's basically that's your comedy.
Yeah, yeah. It
Which is
is. It is.
amazing. Yeah.
I think it's, you know what it is? It's because I'm so brutally honest about stuff that nobody talks about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially around sex and women and sex. It's like women have so much shame around talking about sex. And
Mm.
I think I talk about things, you know, when I do my show, I talk about things that the whole audience are laughing their heads off and they'll go, I just didn't realize anyone else experienced that. It's like, yeah, of course we all fucking experience it. We're
And how good
human.
is that for a release of anxiety for them, the people in the crowd? Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of a therapeutic relief for them, like, shedding that away while they're in there, like a
Yeah, yeah,
counseling
absolutely.
therapy session.
Yeah,
I
it
have
is.
I have a real thing about childbirth and the way that we're taught about childbirth. Like, and when you go through it, number one, nobody tells you that after you have a baby, you have to birth a placenta. You don't get
Yeah.
told that at all at any point. And then it's like, so okay, so when are you going to tell us about this bit? And then you're given a baby and you're supposed to know how to look after it. They don't tell you that you're going to take 6 weeks, 8 weeks to heal, not be able to walk, have nappies. They don't tell you any of that stuff. Why don't they tell
Yeah, the
us stuff?
mad thing for you is like you'd been up for like hours, like having Naya, and then they just left you in a room with her and walked out for a couple of hours. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm like half asleep with a baby laid on me, like with no one around.
I
So
know. There's like zero support. It's like you literally drop kicked into it. Like, all right, there you go, bye. Yeah, everyone
yeah,
does this. Is natural. The fuck it
yeah,
is. There's nothing
yeah.
natural about this experience.
But it just brings it up when you're talking about like how we don't talk about these things. But there's so many girls out there that are pregnant that have never they tell you all about this is how you breathe. This
yeah.
is what you do whilst you're pregnant. This
And
is what you do.
childbirth is really painful and
Yeah,
stuff. It's
yeah.
the aftermath that's
But
fucked up.
tells you about
Yeah.
that bit after where you're wearing nappies and you're being stitched up and and you can't walk properly and you can hardly move your leg or they
I
don't
know.
tell you
Like,
any of it.
honest to God, that nothing has felt more paralyzingly shit to me than having kids.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, when people are like, oh my God, it's the most beautiful thing ever and enjoy every single precious moment of it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? My eyeballs feel like sandpaper. Like,
Yeah. And
not only am I tired, my tits are pissing milk, and
Yeah.
I've got a kid that just won't stop fucking crying. Like, I'm not enjoying
Screaming.
it. And
Yeah.
why can't we normalize the fact that you don't enjoy it? And you don't have to enjoy it. What if you
No,
don't enjoy it? What if that's okay?
that is
and
okay.
and
I
then
think it
when
is okay. That's
when
it.
they grow up a bit, you kind of like, fuck, I just wish I could stop nagging all the time, like,
Yeah.
because they're not doing what you want to do. And it's like, I just
Yeah.
want to have some nice time with
And
them.
then you
Well, I mean,
sound
I've
like
got a
your parents.
teenager, and I think teenagers get a bad rep. And obviously, I'm lucky, I don't know, but I think that a lot of women will pin their lives on a newborn baby and will really berate the experience of teen life. And I actually thoroughly enjoy it because I'm watching him flourish. I'm watching him become his
Yeah.
own person, and I'm giving him the emotional space, no doubt because of the therapy I've done. I'm giving him the emotional space to be him
Yeah.
authentically, show up as you are. And it's messy and it's complicated and it's filled with ups and downs. But I'm just going to let you know I'm 41 and it's still filled with all of those things. And that is normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think that I personally didn't enjoy early motherhood. I didn't. And I think that's another thing nobody shares. Nobody
Yeah.
turns around and says, that was shit. You
Oh no,
know?
I do. I 100% would say that to so many people. Like that first 6 months was a nightmare. It
Yeah.
was a nightmare because, you just don't. And I wasn't depressed. I didn't have that. I didn't have that. Like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would be like. But I didn't enjoy it.
No.
But when she started to smile and started to hold my hand and started to give something back, then
Yeah.
there was more of a bond, you know.
Yeah.
But at first, it's like it's like having a pet that you don't even.
Yeah, you're like, babe, can you sort this thing out? Like,
Yeah.
it's shut itself again.
Yeah. Like Beyonce, when she said that she was giving birth to her eldest, and she said when she was in the birth canal, I already felt an essence of connection with her. Well, I felt an essence of what the fuck? My arsehole feels like it's about to rip open.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything in the birth canal other than burning.
Yeah.
And I also certainly didn't fucking feel it weeks after either. Like it screamed, it kept me up. I was exhausted. I had to take it with me everywhere. Like fuck me, like there was no, and I also realised that I've always wanted to be a mum, and I'm so pleased I'm a mum, and I take my job as a mother so seriously, and I love them, and I'm so protective of them. But motherhood is not my identity, and I think that's quite threatening within society for women to admit that, for women to say it was not and has not been my whole identity. I like being a mother, but that is one part of me, and I also like to have this other part of me that is totally separate, because I want my career, I love my job, I work hard for the things I've got, and yes, my children are really important to me, but they're not my everything.
Yeah, we've been kind of open about that from the start, so we've shared lots of the responsibility.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I do more of the motherly duties, not more of the motherly duties.
I'm still
lots of the motherly
yeah,
duties.
I still have that mother. I'm still mummy.
Yeah.
I'm still mummy, and I love that. And our connection is incredible, and I love my daughter.
But I do the dishes. I take her to swimming.
You do.
I do.
You do. You do all
But
of
that's
that whilst
nice
I
to
work.
hear, because we're not in a society that supports men doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like demonized, like, oh God, you do that. Yeah, you're right. I do that because I'm a man. And men are meant to do that. This old, really archaic idea around how women are meant to survive in a society that expects them to work full time, raise the children, still have dinner on the table, get all. I personally, I find it disgusting.
Yeah.
And I lived it.
Yeah.
I did.
And
I
then
did.
still,
I did all
and
of
still
it. And I
have a
look.
career, and still have a career. Like we're
Yeah.
still supposed to now have a career and do all of that stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
And be the only ones who know when the school things are. Be the only ones who know.
Well,
like,
that is inherent in you guys, I've got to say. I
just
can't
don't
remember
know.
that shit. I'm sorry.
I can't say that I'm always particularly great at remembering that shit either. Invariably, and like, is your daughter in school yet?
Yeah, she's sick.
So the playground is a shit show at times, isn't it? Like I'm quite open in saying that a lot of the mums on the playgrounds are cunts, and they just are. In fact, I've told one of them to fuck off. I used to be a really, really crippling people pleaser, and for all the work that I've now done, I'm not a people pleaser anymore. And I've just got to a place where I'm like, oh, I don't like you, so why would I talk to you? Just go away.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm done. But like the WhatsApp groups and the Facebook groups, the fuck I am being joined to that. No, thank you. I'm all right. There's a fucking newsletter for a reason. Look at the newsletter. I do not need to speak to 50 other mums about it. Fuck off.
We have it's a small school, so we don't have this. We don't have the same stuff going on because there's only 20 in the class, is there? So it's small. So yeah, less parents, less everything, less of it.
You know
Brockenhurst.
Have you been to Brockenhurst?
What, the New Forest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we live.
That's where we are.
Oh, that's not far from me at all.
No.
Oh, no way. I didn't realise you were down south.
Yeah, you can come say hello.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love Brockenhurst. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. We're very lucky when the donkeys come out, and yeah, it's very. I was going to say dolphins. There's no dolphins.
Hey, look, there could be dolphins.
There's no dolphins.
It's that magical though.
So I've got a question about success. So what does success mean to you now? And has that changed since it all began?
Oh, yeah. Authenticity. Success for me And I honestly do believe that the more authentic you are, the more successful you are. Because I think that when you're living your authentic life, you surround yourself with people that make you feel authentic, and you gravitate towards the things that feel most at home for you, so that your journey allows you to be as comfortable as you possibly can. Of course, discomfort is inevitable, like rejection and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But if you can be authentically you and shine, which by the way is terrifying if you've not done it before. So I don't, I really, I love to drill home constantly over and over again how being authentic is scary. And I would never want anyone to think that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just authentic and it just happens. It's such a painful process, especially
But
if you've
there's no
been,
point being anything else, really, because
no,
you may as well be yourself if you're going
no,
to be.
because once you are actually yourself and you've found that groove and that rhythm and you've like found the love for yourself, it is like a middle finger to everything else, because it's like, well, fuck it. This is who I
Yeah,
am. And actually, me being me, I've got like the most amazing people around me. You know, like I feel so profoundly lucky with my friends. I've got the most incredible friendships. And they're not many, but I don't want many. I don't need a
yeah,
lot. I just
Mm.
need a few precious ones that I hold really dear to me. That's what's important to me. And that's what I want to focus my life on. I don't want to why the fuck do I want to waste any of my life hanging out with people because of status? I don't give a shit what car you drive. I don't care what fucking house you live in. All I care about is the stuffing on the inside. And if the stuffing on the inside is worth my time and energy, I will give you all of me.
yeah.
But otherwise, why are we doing that to
Yeah, our
ourselves?
time is so important and limited. Like, it's such a waste to waste it on bullshit, isn't it?
And to waste it on a life that isn't even for you, it's for someone
Yeah.
else. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing that?
What would you say though to those people that are, because it is really hard being
Mm,
yourself. It is. And I,
mm,
I do it. I am myself. Nine, like I think all the time I'm pretty much there. But there's times where in the past I've said something that has been true to me and it's really upset somebody else,
mhm.
or they've been rude back, or they've not understood me. And what do you say to those people that are trying to be themselves and they're getting backlash? How do you cope with that?
It's such a fucking good question, because the answer is you're going to hurt.
Yeah,
You do. It doesn't
yeah,
feel comfortable. It doesn't feel nice. And like, even when you are turning around to someone and saying, never speak to me again, or I don't like you, or I'm leaving this conversation because I don't feel comfortable, like whatever it is, got to be prepared for the fact you're probably going to go and cry your fucking eyes out,
yeah,
because it doesn't feel nice. And because we're not built for conflict. If you are, maybe you're a sociopath, but generally speaking, we're not.
yeah,
Nobody really likes to have fights with people, unless you've got some deep wound that really is so angry and bitter. Invariably, we all kind of want a bit of a harmonious life. And a harmonious life, a lot of the time, is kind of sticking within the confines of what society tells us we should be. So I do feel like it comes back to another description of, you've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, a
yeah,
bit of short-term pain that usually results in something a
It's
lot
a
better.
long-term gain. It is,
Yeah.
because the initial reaction of standing up for yourself, if you are not used to having boundaries, and if you are not used to implementing boundaries, boundaries will feel really fucking scary for you,
yeah,
as well as everybody else around you. Because if people are used to taking from you, and then all of a sudden you cut their supply off because you start giving to yourself, that's threatening as fuck for them. They're
yeah,
not used to that. They're used to you providing something for them. And when you take that thing away, they're like, well, what am I meant to do? You need to give me that. And it's like, well, no, that's your job, mate. Me as a person, and I do think the oxygen mask analogy is so, so brilliant.
Mm.
I put my own oxygen mask on now before I put anybody else's on. And that's not because I'm selfish. It's because that is exactly how we should have always been raised to be.
it's
Yeah.
so weird you saying that. I have been thinking about that analogy, I reckon about 10 times in the last couple of weeks. It's just been one of those things where I've gone, "Oh, I must put my own oxygen mask on first," or "Oh, in this what there's been loads of times, because it is a great analogy to think about. You've got to look after yourself,
Hmm.
because otherwise you cannot look after the people around you. You can't do anything else.
You'll never show up as your best self if you can't.
No, and also I'm not the best mother when I'm putting their oxygen masks on first. I'm not, because I'm burnt out and I'm frazzled and
Yeah, and when you're putting it on, you're like, you little fucker, and you're jamming
I fucking cunt. Yeah, I am. That's so true. But I think the other thing is the way that I used to describe my life until now is I used to run in and save everybody from their own house fire just so that I didn't have to go in and save myself from my own. And that has how I have lived my life up until this point, that I would always prefer to help somebody else than I would to help me. Because helping someone else and sitting with their pain and listening or being part of their journey is nowhere near as painful as having to get yourself out of your own house fire, because you have to then sit with your own feelings of unhappiness. You then have to process all of the awful things that have happened to you. And the grief can be so consuming that, like you said, you can believe you're never going to get out of it. But in actual fact, when you then start to firefight your way out of whatever that situation might be, you then start to find yourself and you start to make peace with it. Like, I've estranged myself from my family, and that was a really painful thing to do. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. And I hid it for a really long time because I was really scared about talking about it. And that was, it was awful. It was awful. And it took so much of my own strength. And that was me slowly but surely, just at the beginning, wanting to make a decision to get out of my own situation that caused so much pain and trauma. And it's taken a long time for me to be able to talk about it with a rational head, I guess, because I have a deep understanding for my family dynamic, why it functions the way that it does, and why I will always be better off without it, and how I've made peace with that. I've gone
I
through that
fully
whole process.
sympathize. I
Yeah,
fully
I can. Like,
sympathize with
I've
that
gone through that
because
process of anger, and like, I remember my friend saying to me, "You won't hate them one day. I promise you, one day you will find empathy and love for them because you'll understand." And I thought, the fuck I will. No, I won't. I hate them.
yeah,
And now I get it.
yeah,
I understand. It doesn't mean I forgive them. I don't, and I don't have to, but I do understand why they function the way they do. It makes perfect sense to me. And I think that we almost like we push people out of that space of grief. Oh, come on. All right, well, yeah, get over it. Of anger. Well, okay. Don't let that anger consume you. Well, you should probably forget about it and move on. Well, they're out of your life now. When in actual fact, what we really should be doing is we should be really pushing this idea of going, hey, I know you're so angry right now, and I can feel and see that. I'm going to sit with you until it's gone.
mm,
Because I only learn in the last 18 months, the more you sit with the things that you try to push away, the quicker they move. And emotions aren't static. They're not meant to stay. They are meant to move. They're like the weather, you know, that,
I have
what
a
is
good
it? Emotions
analogy.
have
I have a good
motion.
analogy for this.
What's that?
He loves to tell. I think he tells this on every single podcast.
Oh my
So
God,
he's
I need to
literally
hear
going to
it.
be like, "Oh, it's the buffalo analogy again." Woo!
I don't even know if I can remember it. So you got a cow is okay. So a huge storm is coming, and the cow can sense it, and they start like running away from the storm. And then you've got a buffalo. He senses the storm is coming,
Or
uh,
she.
or she,
Yeah.
and then
They then.
runs towards the storm. And so what actually happens is with the cow, the storm catches up to the cow, and the cow is running with the storm, inside of the storm. And the buffalo ran towards the storm, and the buffalo runs through the storm, has all the terrible weather, the thunder, the lightning, and it's horrendous, but comes out the other side and gets the fresh new grass that has had the rainfall and everything, and the beauty of that. and the poor cow is just following the storm the whole time,
Exhausted.
I
exhausted.
love that.
Good, isn't
That's
it?
perfect though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
I'm
such
so
a
pleased you told it
good
on this episode of the podcast as well.
Till next episode.
But it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. And I just don't think that because we're not really designed to want to feel horrible things. Nobody does. Nobody's going, yay, I can't wait to cry all day. Nobody wants to be swallowed by their pain. Nobody, no, I don't.
But if you sit with it and you deal with it, then you can move through it. And that's the
And
Yeah,
get the
and I
beauty on the
also
other side.
think it's the art of your life skills of like I didn't have like what I call my life raft, right? My life raft when I feel triggered, what do I need? What does my body need? What do I need to feel safe again to be able to ride through this feeling so I don't get completely consumed by it, i.e. last year, so consumed, I cancelled my tour and like everything about my life just got shut off for 4 or 5 months. How do I stop that? So when I feel myself spiraling and you're like, shit, what am I doing? Where's my life raft where I go, okay, I need a blanket that's going to make me feel safe and secure. I need a hug. I need to cry. I need to do
Yeah.
some yoga. And the thing is, it's unique to you as a person. I wanted someone to tell me A through to Z of all of the things I needed to do. And it was like, no, you've got to learn that. You're
you've
going to
got to
have to
find them
try
yourself.
all of it and figure out what works and what doesn't and take tiny little beats from all of it and then just pull it in and go, this is my stuff and this is how it works for me and this is what I have to do. But while having all of these things are not blocking my emotions because that's also what I used to do. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do some yoga just so that I don't feel. But actually, it's about feeling it, allowing your feelings, your grief, whatever it is, to just run alongside you in life
Mm.
and hold it really tenderly and be with it because it wants
Yeah.
to be felt. It wants to
Yeah.
be with. It doesn't want to be in, it wants to be out.
Yeah.
You know,
Process it instead of suppress it.
yeah. Look at Jesus Christ, he's an analogy
I know,
king, isn't he?
I know. It rolls off
It rolls off the
the
tongue.
constantly.
You need to
Yeah,
write a book.
book of analogy.
Hey, yeah, we've got something in common because I'm estranged from my parents as well. I dream of being a comedian, but Casey says I'm not funny. But another.
I love it. But
Dad joke funny.
family estrangement it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, but so glad that I've made the choice and so freeing. And I can only have, like you, a limited amount of relationships. So it makes me be able to focus on the world that I actually enjoy, that inner world, and not have to deal with the bullshit of that other world. And I love, like, that I've gone through the process, love those people, appreciate what they've done for me, but, not for me.
Yeah. And also, you don't choose your family. You can't.
No, that's
But
it.
like, I think that there's this really funny idea around, oh, your poor parents. And when you go, I just want you to take that for 1 second, ruminate with it, and think, what did they do for me to get to this point that I had to walk out of
Yeah.
my family?
Yeah.
Because biologically, it doesn't actually make any sense from a biological point of view, from a brain point of view. We are geared around survival based on our family. It's very tribal. It's very instinctual to our needs as human beings to be within a family dynamic. So actually, to do that, I would like those people that have that criticism to turn the question around to the parent, which a lot of people don't do.
No.
Because, oh my God, you poor thing. Oh, I can't believe your kids did that to you. Turn the question around and go, what happened?
Yeah.
I would love someone to ask my
Yeah.
mum that. What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Explain it.
It's funny actually you say that. My mum finds it really hard to deal with the fact Josh doesn't speak to his mum, and like she's like,
Yeah, and she's
but
like,
it's your mum.
yeah, she gave
But
birth to you,
but
and it's like,
because
and with our daughter, we're like, but she is the gift. Our daughter is the gift.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like she owes us anything.
but my mum's like I've had a great childhood, so I've got a wonderful parents, who have been there and supported me
So
through
Casey's
a lot of
definitely
stuff.
not funny.
No, so I'm not funny at all. So
Yeah, I mean, I actually said I'd love to be Amanda from Accounts. Do you know what I mean? That has no personality, but just had a really great childhood. I'd love to be boring as fuck.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so but my mum can't get it into but to ask her that question, actually, that's what I need to say. I need to say to her, imagine what it's taken for Josh to do that. Rather than, oh my God, how can he do that? How can he walk away from his mum? Imagine what it's actually taken for him to do that.
Yeah, and her mum
The other way
leaks,
round.
leaks
It's quite
information to
interesting.
my mum. I'm like, really? Do we have to do this?
Yeah. And but that must be really tricky. Thankfully for me, it's a full cut, so there's
Yeah.
no leaking of anything. But
Yeah.
it's Canal, it's been hard. It's been really
Yeah,
hard.
really
Really hard. Yeah. And yeah, my mum's an interesting character. She's a very interesting character. But I'm a survivor, and I think that you can go one of two ways with regards to recovery, because I do believe that any form of mental health, sort of, whether it be anxiety, depression, I've got complex PTSD. Complex PTSD is when you've had profound trauma that started in early childhood, which is me. So, complex PTSD, like to have something like that, I used to believe that I would have to live with it for the rest of my life. I had no idea that personality disorders like bipolar, borderline personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder, used to be multiple personality disorder, all curable illnesses through deep therapy and trauma
I
work.
didn't know that either. That's
No,
incredible.
I didn't. So the holistic psychologist talks about this quite a lot. So bipolar is often a gateway sort of disorder to profound grief that hasn't been felt and hasn't been processed and hasn't been, you know, um,
Wow.
yeah, I know. So I'm in the process of healing things that I thought I'm just going to be stuck with for the rest of my life. And that's what I mean with regards to my lifeboat now. Like, I did therapy yesterday, and Jesus Christ, like the stuff that I did in that therapy session was insane. Like, I unlocked some memories that I'd never had before. And that's because of the work that I'm doing. And I just didn't know that you could reverse the symptoms of, you know, PTSD, complex PTSD, borderline personality. I didn't know that. I had
That's
no idea.
incredible. That's
And
incredible.
I think that is testament to the power of the brain and the power of healing, and the fact that there are so many professionals out there. Like, my social media feed is only filled with psychologists and healing world, because that's what I want to be supported by when I go on socials.
Yeah.
So the holistic psychologist, she's got the self-healers circle. There's another therapist called Chantel Wade out in Canada, and her videos are profound. She's so incredible in the way that she describes healing, around shame, around your inner critic, sort of the befriending framework. Dr. Glenn Doyle, not to be mistaken for the female Glennon Doyle, he's a psychologist out in Chicago, and he is also a survivor of childhood abuse, and he has complex PTSD. He's also a psychologist, and he talks about recovery as a person who's felt it, but also a person in the therapy world. So, like, all of these different professionals out there that are actually putting their work out online to be able to help people on their journey, I think is incredible. And it reduces the level of shame, I think, that we all carry when we've had breakdowns or we've had poor mental health, because as a society we're still very slow on the uptake of understanding why, but it's always comes from trauma.
But most importantly, there's you putting this stuff out on
Yes,
social
that
media.
is very true.
So what is happening next for you, Laura? What's the
So
plans for the future?
yeah, so I'm currently writing my new show for my stand-ups, which will hopefully I will go out on tour with next year. And I
Well,
think
if you
it's
need an opening act, I'm here waiting for my career.
don't worry, you can be the little sideline. You can just
Yeah.
So I think for me, my main goal is to really focus and channel all of my energy into stand up or writing. I love writing. I love comedy. I don't necessarily need the buzz of like stage. I'm quite happy to be to do right. You know, like I don't need the ego buzz of like everyone applauding. Feels lovely, but you can't survive on it. And I'm very happy. Anything to do with comedy, it's my passion. I love it. I love everything to do with comedy. I love supporting people in comedy. I love supporting women in comedy. I think that it's just an incredible community, and I love watching people thrive in it. And so it's like everything to do with it is what I want to encompass in my life, I think.
That's cool. So you're currently writing your new stand-up tour for next year, which hopefully you're going to go out and do.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
That's it at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it.
Big.
And if people want to read your book, how do they find that?
They'd be able to find it on Amazon. So I've written 2 books. Weirdly, I'm a bit like about it because I don't remember what I wrote. Bad is that? I don't. I feel like I should write another book. Let's put it that way. That is actually authentically me, and I'm able to be true to who I am rather than writing while trapped within dynamics that I couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
Time to write another book then as well.
It's probably time that I wrote another book.
Well, I have read a bit of Knee Deep in Life, but I listened to it actually on Audible, and it starts off like, if you're a woman like this and that. I'm like, yes, this is perfect for me then, isn't it?
It's right up your street.
Yeah.
I think that is the kind of thing that you would actually enjoy listening to.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So
I was getting into
it. You do live with 2 women, so it probably is a good thing for you to listen to
have some knowledge of the inner workings of a woman.
Exactly.
And the preparation for 2 women who will have periods in the same house.
Yeah.
Or not, because maybe I'll be I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
If only we could get off that lightly. Like I said, wouldn't it be great if there was just like, I've had my kids now, switch, we'll just turn all of that off.
That'd be so good, wouldn't it?
Rather than having to go through fucking menopause.
Yeah, just like, that's it. Thanks. That was good. They're done. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, that was lovely. Brilliant. I had a great time. Thanks.
Yeah. We're going to see. I'll probably be menopausal and she'll be hormonal teenager.
So even better, Josh. I love that.
Like, that's going to be perfect.
I'm going to enjoy that. We'll get a bigger house.
Yeah.
I'll get a garage.
You're going to need one.
A garden to water.
Right, it is that time where we have to ask the very special question of the podcast.
Yes.
So you can ask
No,
today.
you
ask today.
Okay.
Go for it.
So Laura Belbin, are you successful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was easy.
I love that.
Some people are like, oh my God.
I
don't know what success is. I've never thought about that before.
I believe that success comes down to your own personal self-worth. I don't believe success comes down to your career, because careers can disappear, love can disappear, relationships can disappear, but me and myself and how I see myself and how I care for myself, that won't. And so, yeah, I am successful because I've got that.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that. That's awesome. So thank you so much for joining us. I think we could have sat here and talked for another hour.
Yeah, we'll have to get you to come over here and
Easily.
have a coffee in the New Forest.
We could do a one in a studio.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We could do a studio
Let's go round
podcast.
2 in a studio.
Yeah, let's do it.
That sounds amazing. That sounds
rather
amazing.
than in our makeshift homes. But yeah, lovely to speak to you. And yeah, thank you for coming on our wonderful little podcast.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.